There are 4 specific groups that you can rent to. Each of these groups is willing to pay more or less, wants you to be more or less reliable, cares about how things look, and wants things to be special. And they care in varying amounts. Hi, my name is Austin. I ran my own event rental business from 2019 to 2024 that my parents started back in 2001. And now I help event rental business owners keep track of their numbers and find out what's important so that way they can grow their business. Today, I'm going to run you through all 4 groups and exactly where they rate out of 10 on what they're looking for and what matters to them. Now, each group is going to care about something different. So today I've laid out all 4 things that they care about. First, they care about price, they care about reliability, they care how things look, and they care if it's special. Now, I'm going to be putting on here out of 10 how each one ranks. Backyard parties will be something like a birthday, a graduation, a family get-together. They rent very infrequently, at least not frequently enough to keep you filled throughout the whole month, but they're the place where most people start out. These people care the most about price. They're going to call and shop around and they're going to treat you like a commodity. So they're going to find whatever it is that you rent and they're going to try and find it for cheaper. They don't care about your service. They don't care if you're reliable. They will be going to the cheapest person they can find. But they also want convenient. So if you answer your phone first, there's a good chance you may win them even though somebody else is cheaper. The second thing, reliability. This matters for people, but not in the way that you might think. They're going to want to make sure that you show up and that you say that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. They actually don't have as many checks as some of our other people who we'll talk about. For example, you can rent to backyard parties and never carry insurance. I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying that a lot of people start that way. So on the reliability scale, we'll probably put them about a 6 out of a 10. They want the unit to look good, but they don't care so much about looks as they do more about price and reliability. They're going to be more concerned about getting something for cheaper, for longer, rather than having it look good. We'll be putting the looks at a 3 out of 10. Now, that doesn't mean that you can get away with the unit being dirty or not looking good. You still have to care a little bit, but they care a lot less about the actual unit and a lot more about price. Last part here, how special it is. Now, people will care about how special things are, but this is very low. They are not looking for the unicorn experience. They're looking for that, hey, I just need a couple of chairs or I just need a bounce house. Commodity. This is going to be the 1 out of 10. Okay, moving on to group number 2. Schools, churches, city parks, charity events. These events care a lot about reliability, and they're willing to pay more if somebody is reliable. They book events again and again, and these are some of the only people who you'll find a rental for during a weekday. They pay on time, but they do not pay extra for it looking pretty. They care about your price, but these people care far more about reliability than they care about your price. They have the money to spend as long as it will work out for them. They land at a 6 out of 10 on the price. Next, we're going to move to reliability. Reliability is very important for them. I would say it's probably one of the most important. This is where reliability stops becoming an option and starts becoming a prerequisite. So we're not at the point where you will completely lose them if you don't show up to something or if you have an emergency, but it will definitely harm you. We're going to be putting them at a 7 out of 10 for reliability. Now, looks. They care about how it looks, but they will not be paying extra for how it looks. Most won't. And the reason for that is a lot of these are companies and churches. They just don't care that it looks amazing. They just want it to look good enough. On looks, we're going to put them at a 5 out of 10. Now, how special do they want it to be? They don't really value how special it is. It's important for some of them, but most of the time, this special factor is just not something they care about. They really want to know that you're going to be there, on time, reliable, and you charge a fair price. We're going to put special at 3 out of 10. Our third group is your weddings and big life events. These are families who are spending big. Think weddings, showers, milestones, quinceañeras. This is the kind of event where a family will shell out to make sure that the event looks amazing. The deal with them is that if a guest can see it, it has to look good. On price, they start to care less about price, but it can be important. I'm going to put these guys at about a 4 out of 10 when it comes to price, meaning they're more willing to pay than your residential. They won't compare you to every other person. They're going to be comparing you for what experience you bring to them. Reliability. From here on out, reliability is a must. If you do not show up for somebody's quinceañera or their wedding, you have completely ruined your reputation. So this stops affecting just one customer, and now it's going to be their entire family and anybody who they can tell that you screwed their stuff up. These ones you cannot miss out on. They are a 10 out of 10 on needing to be reliable, and it will stay 10 out of 10 for our next group as well. Looks. It matters a lot to them what things look like. People will be staring at your stuff all event long. So for them, looks are a prerequisite, and they'll be looking on your website to see how good something looks. Because if you can't display it well on your website, then they will not trust you at all that you can make it look good at their party. Looks for them here is going to be an 8 out of 10. Special. They want something unique. They want something special, but it doesn't have to be completely crazy. I've seen some tent and table packages that have some custom coloring, or they have some different pieces that would put it just above your standard party. That will suffice for the most part. However, I will say, this is where you're going to start to see some of those buyers who will pay a premium for something that is just for them. They want something handmade just for them. So for special, they're going to land somewhere about the 6 out of 10 on how special they want things to be. Our last group here is our high-end and designer events. This is where you almost need a planner or a designer as a contact to be able to rent to, or you might be one yourself. Fancy parties, company brand events, company launch events, weddings at big estates. Here, you're usually selling to the party planner. And the party planner does not care about the bill. They want things that nobody else even has. They care about it being special and matching exactly what they have in their head. And so, because they want this unique, crazy experience that nobody can deliver to them, if you can deliver it to them, you can pretty much name your price. They care very, very little. They're going to land at 2 out of 10 on how much they care about price. Next, we're going to look at reliability. Reliability here is no longer an option. It's now a prerequisite. The thing that really sucks about these ones is if you have one bad event with an event planner, you are losing not only that event planner, but they know multiple other people in the event planning space. I'm not saying it happens every time, but there is a chance that one thing going really, really sideways at one of these kinds of events means that you would never have access to this group again. Reliability is a 10 out of 10 for them. How does something look? It must look immaculate. There is not an option. It has to look amazing. If it's not wowing people, then it's not good enough for these people. Looks here are a 10 out of 10. You cannot get away with renting something subpar to these kinds of events. These are the people who get Shibari chairs. They're the ones who are getting silk and velvet tablecloths and linens. Everything in their site must be perfect and beautiful. And so that brings me to special. These are the kinds of people who want something that nobody will ever see again. If you've ever seen those $300,000 weddings where they build entire structures, or maybe you're one of the people who does them, that's what they're looking for. They want something that nobody else can replicate. To them, being the unicorn or being unique with this event means everything. They are a 10 out of 10 on special. So guys, that is all 4 of the groups who you could rent to as an event rental business owner. If you guys liked this concept or you liked this idea, let me know. And in the next video, I'll tell you all of the items that you can rent and who they would actually go to in our 4 groups. I'll also include a few traps. These are equipment or inventory that you might think about purchasing, but actually keep you locked at lower levels and don't let you punch up with the same equipment. If you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe. I'm looking forward to making more of it for those of us who are in the event rental industry.